Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 24th of February, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index. We see here, if we click on the dollar index, my tracker charts all change. This is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart, my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market with the corresponding point and figure targets. And this data coming in from Refinitiv Icon. Of course, Updata runs on lots of different data sources. I'm just using Icon. So we start by looking at the dollar. It's bearish on all three time frames, and a lot of people calling a bottom to the dollar, but there's no real signs of that yet. We're still bearish. And if we look at the euro against the dollar, we're sitting at 121.70. So here we've seen that bullish trend just continuing. It did find support on the cloud, which is quite key. Sterling sitting at 141.74 this morning, so just powering ahead, and we have this target of 146.76, so looking very strong on that vaccination data, which we'll take a look at the end of this recording. And if we look at sterling against the euro, we're sitting at 116.45, pushing ever higher here as well, so looking very strong indeed for sterling. Bitcoin had a torrid day yesterday. It was down 15% at one point, back to the $45,000 level. So we're back in short-term bearish territory while we regroup. We do have an upside target to 56.20, which would take us roughly back to where we were. And of course, we still do have this long-term target in place. The S&P was up slightly yesterday, and the futures this morning we're seeing are slightly higher as well. And the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.1%. So it just suggests the market will open slightly ahead of flat. The VIX volatility up 1.4%. So we are just seeing markets still a little bit cautious on that short term. Taking a look at the FTSE future, we're down 1/3% this morning, and the cash market in Germany is up 0.4%. So the market's just a very mixed picture generally. Japan was down 1.7% overnight. Asia's actually been hit a bit harder. And if we look at the Hang Seng, that was down 3%, so a really big fall there as well. And China down 2%. So as I say, Asian markets were hit much harder, bullish above the clouds there. Taking a look at gold, we're holding on to the $1,800 level, still holding into short-term bullish. Work to do to get to medium-term bullish, but still looking very strong on that long-term chart. And having found support at that 1764 level again is encouraging. Silver sitting at 27.75 this morning, needs to break $30 to really start running, but bullish on all three time frames. US 10-year yields back slightly to 136, so we're just seeing here 1.36%, and 30-year bond yields actually looking strong still at 2.21%, so we're just starting to see a transition there to bullish. Taking a look at the energy mix, we've got Brent Crude this morning, that's up 0.2%, sitting above that $65 level, showing no real signs of weakness there at the moment, and WTI up 0.2%. We went out as neutral this week on crude, and actually we're just seeing a bit of an improvement on that picture. US nat gas, we were bearish, and we are actually sitting at 2.85%, so we are sinking lower, and we were bearish there, as I say. Coal, no real change this morning. It did have a tick up yesterday though, so starting to look a little bit better on that short term. We go higher, we activate an upside target there, and emissions just flat at the moment, so we are still slightly bearish below the cloud, but it looks like that pullback was the extent of it. We've got targets higher, so don't be surprised to see emissions starting to run again. Gas markets, we were bearish this week, and we still see this trend below the cloud, and the same on TTF front month. Just that breakdown in price really starting to show through there, and we're bearish below 17 euros on TTF front month at the moment. German power actually looking a bit stronger than we expected for the week, sitting at 52, but very much in this range at the moment, so nothing really doing until we can break out of that. We do have a few mini upside targets. Keep an eye on your 1 minute OTC data. And as I mentioned, we look at the COVID stats. This data coming in now on Updata on your Our World in Data. It's their website that publishes loads of global statistics, and we're pulling in the coronavirus statistics. So just configure your Updata system to take that data in. Here we see new cases. France, a standout there, still just flat in terms of number of new cases, is not falling, maybe even rising slightly. US and UK are the green and dark blue lines, they're really pulling down. And if we look at new deaths, we're seeing how the UK has pulled right back down towards the level seen. These are all per unit of population, so per million of population. And the ICU picture, number of people in hospital, is actually looking still quite worrying in France, not falling. We're seeing the UK and the US falling heavily. And of course the vaccination rate, very high in the UK, and the US still lagging very much so in continental Europe. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.